better and creative manner. So the first aim of this exercise tomorrow is to bring about oneness. Okay, so it is about bringing oneness. Now a lot of people start looking at the astrological angles and all of that, and maybe the timings and dates have some astrological or numerological angles, but that's not the major part, that's not the major reasoning about it. Okay, and then the second thing I want to share is about the law of attraction. So I'm sure a lot of you who are into self-growth and spirituality have heard about The Secret, have heard about this movie about the law of attraction, which was named as The Secret, and there's also a book by Rhonda Byrne about this. And the law of attraction is a concept which states something very simple. It states that whenever we focus on something, whatever we focus upon is what we attract. Whatever we focus upon is what we attract into our lives. So, for example, if there is somebody who is constantly focusing on negative events, they attract more of that. Like attracts like. So I'm not maybe using the exact words used by Rhonda Byrne, but I am explaining the essence of the law of attraction which I understood. So like attracts like. So for example, Leonardo da Vinci had sketched aeroplanes, you know, he had sketched some objects which look like aeroplanes, and eventually somewhere or the other the Wright brothers invented the aeroplane, and probably it was nothing to do with Leonardo da Vinci, but the thought, the idea creates the feeling, and the feeling leads to the action, leads to the event. So as per the law of attraction, if a lot of, forget about all of us, even if one person intends for a happy India, for a healthy India, as per law of attraction, he is going to attract that. He is going to attract events of that nature. So when a lot of people do it on a mass scale, what is going to happen? When a lot of people have that same visualization at a mass scale, what will happen? It is going to only multiply that effect many-fold, and the multiplication will be like a Fibonacci series, because so many people are doing it at one time. Even if 10% of India's population do it, it's a big number. So the visualization of a happy India, of a healthy India, is based on the law of attraction, because what we visualize, what we picture is what we attract. And the advanced rider, or the advanced part of that visualization, is to actually live as if we are in a happy and healthy India. For example, let me give you an example of a man who is looking for a beautiful soulmate, a beautiful wife, a woman in his life. He is more likely to attract that woman if he creates that mental picture of abundance, of having that kind of woman, and he is more likely to attract that kind of woman who behaves as if he already has that kind of woman, who behaves confident, who behaves happy, who behaves very powerful. So the action of lack, the action of not having something, is going to create lack in your life, create negativity in your life. But the action of having something in your life is going to attract more of that. Like attracts like. That's the law of attraction. Now, when we come to collective consciousness, there's a doctor who has also been the president of the Indian Medical Association, and he explained that this comes from Yoga Vasishta, chapter 6. And I checked Yoga Vasishta chapter 6, and actually this is mentioned, a concept about oneness and consciousness, that all of us are like waves on the sea. we are like waves appearing on the sea of consciousness. So I'm sorry if this gets a little too technical in terms of spirituality for some of you who are new to it, but definitely feel free to post your primary text for the yoga philosophy. It's also one of the primary texts for Advaita philosophy. So when we look at Yoga Vasishtha, there is talk of collective consciousness. What the collective consciousness intends, and puts their energy into, that event, that visualization, that particular intention is likely to take shape. So a lot of people doing this together, as I said, even if 10% of India does it, there's no harm, there's going to be no harm absolutely. But the results are going to be astounding as per this idea, as per this philosophy that all of us are one. And as I already mentioned, the moment we feel the oneness, despite all the social distancing and blah, 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 if we feel the oneness, we are already protected. We are already psychologically at a more, at a vantage point, at a more advantageous point. So it's a deep work on the psychology. That's why I say to everyone that the ancient Indian spirituality, ancient Indian philosophy has always been a great work on the psychology of man. And some of these secrets are not even unlocked in modern psychology, if you see. But modern psychology is slowly learning about it. So I also Dr. KK, who was the president of the Indian Medical Association, mentioned about Ritambara Pragya. It mentioned about he mentioned about quantum science. And what does quantum science again say? In terms of spirituality, in terms of philosophy, quantum science says that the intention, what you intend, what you create at a subtle level, eventually manifests at the gross level. So everything starts at the subtle level as a thought form, as an idea, and that idea manifests. Just think of Henry Ford. He created a car, but where did the car start? The idea of the car started somewhere in his mind, or probably it started in someone else's mind who thought about this idea. It would be so nice if we don't use bullock carts, if we don't use human force, but there could be something automatic running that can rotate the wheels. And that idea somehow came into the mind of Henry Ford. And this idea, this inspiration eventually took the shape of something very gross, something very physical, which is the automobile. So this is the concept which our Prime Minister is talking about. He is talking about visualizing, setting an intention, creating this entire vibrational or mental picture about what we want to attract, what we want to see. And of course, I was watching Dr. KK's video, and one part which I disagree with him is that he said that we should try to imagine that the virus is not locking onto our receptors. But I feel that any visualization that we do should be about the ideal state that we want to reach. So if you're visualizing something, if you're creating an intention as per the law of attraction, always create the intention of the positive and harmonious effect that you want to see. So tomorrow when you're sitting and when you're visualizing, when you're creating this intention, think of a happy and healthy India. Don't think about the disease, because if you think about the disease, you're giving energy to the disease. If you think about fighting, you are giving energy to the fight. And why do you want to fight? Why do you need courage? Because there is an issue. So don't go into the fight mode, but rather visualize a happy and healthy India. Visualize an India which is very vibrant, like a festival, like a play of colors, like a sea of colors, like a sea of humanity. See the smiles, see the joy of people that is there. And yesterday, Dr. Adizes, who's an Israeli management guru, he also mentioned about how we see so many smiles, so much of laughter in a developing country. Because in the developing country, there's oneness. So there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of uncertainty, but there's also joy, because the uncertainty teaches us to live in the present moment. So living in a developing country is a blessing in that sense. And he said that the number of the smile, the laughter, the quantity of smile and laughter which you see in one day in a developing country is what you may see over 1 year in a developed country. Because the uncertainty sparks inspiration. It sparks living in the present moment. So, leaving aside intellectual debate, leaving aside what the government could do, what are the politics, what are the ideologies, leaving aside all of that, I would really feel that there is no loss in just sitting for 9 minutes, just lighting a lamp and making this beautiful visualization for what we really want in this country. A happy India, a healthy India. Make it more visual in your mind, make it very visual. Visualize it in a very clear cut manner. What you want to see? Happy India. You want people smiling. You want to see people drinking chai. You want to see people prospering, taking care of animals, taking care of their farms, businesses prospering, local businesses prospering, people buying local produce. You want to see all the beautiful things vivid, make it more and more vivid, bring more colors to your image, bring more ideas to positive ideas and make them alive in your vision tomorrow. Even if it is for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, just sit and do this in your mind. Even you can draw this, you know, because in The Secret, the Law of Attraction movie, they talk about vision boards. So you can draw a vibrant India. Those of you who are artistic can draw a vibrant India. Those of you who are collectors of images, you can just get images from Google and make a vision board of a vibrant India. And that's one of the great ideas that you can apply. Make a vibrant board of a visual India with farming, with animals, with beautiful temples, with beautiful dargahs, with beautiful people, with beautiful art, literature, everything. Make a vision board. So this vision that we create actually manifests. It is said that Sri Aurobindo, who was a saint who lived in Auroville in Pondicherry, who created this very innovative and very modern New Age spiritual community in Pondicherry. So Sri Aurobindo and his group of meditators would visualize independent India. Much before India actually got independence, they started visualizing an independent India. They started visualizing this sovereign, powerful state. And that is what eventually manifested. So whatever we see in the world has already happened, been visualized, been played as a mental picture on the plane of the subconscious, or we can say on the plane of the mind. And that's what happens. So be very careful to visualize something very happy, very healthy, very joyous, very peaceful for the country. Also the act of lighting the lamp or putting on the torch, this is what also I have to share about and what I feel is the reasoning. Because in our ancient texts, whether it is the Upanishads, I'm not very sure, but I think it comes from the Upanishads. There's a prayer of light, you know, it's called Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya, which means from light to darkness, from impurity to purity, from death to life. So this is what this is the image which we get when we light a lamp. Well, the act of lighting a lamp is all about bringing light to the darkness. So again, we are using this law of attraction in a very subtle, in a very smart way to light a lamp and the light, you know, in darkness. So subconsciously, our mind already knows that darkness and light. So the contrast our subconscious knows, and somewhere or the other it sparks something beautiful. You know, so even as an astrological remedy, some astrologers suggest lighting diyas, lighting ghee lamps and all of that. That is because there is an area in our life, and now in the collective consciousness, there's so much darkness. And the symbol The symbolic act of lighting something actually creates that mental image of light, that mental image of things brightening up. So these are all things which are in line with the ancient texts. These are in line with the law of attraction, which is explained in a more modern context in the movie called as The Secret. So I definitely recommend that you watch this movie called The Secret about the law of attraction. I'm sure some of you have already watched it. And the Upanishads talk about this. Yoga Vasishta talks about this. So my friends, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Share with me as a comment. And my friend Susie and all others from all over the world, tomorrow 9 p.m. in India we are doing this visualization exercise. 9 p.m. is going to be, I think, roughly 4 p.m. in the UK. So you're most welcome to join for 9 minutes. Light a lamp. Forget all the other stories, about what we are doing in this crisis scenario. Just light a lamp and just visualize a happy India, a healthy India, a happy world, a healthy world. And if you like, you can even pray for this happy world, healthy world, and see it unfolding in front of your eyes. So I think we are doing something, our Prime Minister is doing something. It's not a matter of me agreeing with his ideology or not agreeing with his ideology. That's a completely different story. But and astrology also has a very, it's not really about astrology in this case. It's more about using these very sound principles of manifestation. And anyone who has achieved anything in this world has manifested through the principles of the law of attraction. Of course, there are more subtleties to the law of attraction which I can talk about later. But really, it's the law of attraction that all the successful people are tapping into in order to create what they want, in order to create what they really want to intensify in their life. And you can apply this to your life also. Whatever you want to happen, visualize it, see it vividly, and behave as if that is already happening. That is very important. Behave as if you are already getting the outcome of what you desire. And the moment you do that, you are going to manifest that. If you are stubborn, you are going to manifest that. Because I remember there was an Indian movie called Om Shanti Om, it was an Indian movie, Bollywood movie called Om Shanti Om. I think it had Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika. And this movie, the hero, he says that there's something like itni shiddat se humne chaha ki kainat ne usko kabul kiya, and all of that. So I don't remember the exact dialogue, but if some of you remember the dialogue from Om Shanti Om, please post it as a comment. So so what he meant to say is, if we really want something, which is something very strongly within us, it is going to manifest, it is going to happen. And that's what is said in The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. He says that if you really want something, and that's, I think it came from The Alchemist. This dialogue also came from The Alchemist, from Om Shanti Om. I'm sure Pratik or somebody would remember this dialogue, or Nagesh might remember the dialogue from Om Shanti Om. And it's about how when we want something so strongly, it has to manifest, because we are already creating that psychological, that mental template, that vibrational template for what we want to see in the world. So whether it's our social media, whether it's tomorrow's 9 minutes, whether it's whatever we are doing in life, let's behave as if we are already part of a happy and healthy world. And also, my friends, it's important that we visualize, create this visual for happy, healthy India. Don't create the visual for, let's not, it's not right, or it's not very much in alignment with manifestation principles when we try to fight something. when we try to say, I want to fight this, I don't want this. Because when you say you don't want something, you're actually focusing on the very thing which you don't want. So say you want something, ask for what you want. Don't ask for what you don't want, because that is not in alignment of manifestation principles. So in the same line, I will also wish that you wish and you create the visual of what you really want. Yeah, Pratik has sent me the dialogue. अगर किसी चीज को पूरे शिद्दत से चाहो, if you want anything with complete intensity, तो पूरी कायनात तुम्हें उससे मिलाने में लग जाती है. The whole existence conspires to deliver that to you. And my friends who are meditators, my friends who are into silent practices, my friends who are into mantra chanting, they will be aware that when they want, when they desire something, it really manifests in their life. The other day, one of my neighbor, and she's also a spiritual seeker, she's also a friend, and she said to me that I served to her something, I served to her some food item last month, and she said, yes, this is what I really wanted today. I was craving for this snack called as kachori. I was craving for this in the morning, and this is what you're giving me right now. So the universe delivered to her what she was craving for, what was strongly intended inside her. Because when through spiritual practices, through our purification, when we make a wish, that wish is going to definitely manifest. The universe is going to deliver that to you. So I explained to you how, if you have any questions, please feel free to post and I'll be glad to address that. I explained to you from the point of view of the law of attraction. I explained to you from the point of view of the Yoga Vasishta. I explained to you from the point of view of the Upanishads. I explained to you from the point of view of alchemist Paulo Coelho, and yeah, really it's multiple perspectives. And despite being in astrology, as I already said to you twice, that it's not much about the events and the numbers and blah blah blah, though that also could be very sound if our Prime Minister has chosen that. So let's go with this positivity tomorrow. It's also, I guess it is Easter tomorrow, is it? I'm not very sure, but I think it's Easter tomorrow also. So that light, the lighting of the lamp makes all the more sense in all the various contexts. There is no harm absolutely if you do it. Of course, make sure that you don't get into a fire situation. So common sense is always required along with all these things. Spirituality, everything. We can never be delusional about spirituality and expect it to work. We have to be practical. We have to use our common sense. We have to take all the precautions that we need to take and visualize, because what we visualize, what we see and what we feel is going to manifest tomorrow. It's going to manifest soon. Okay? So my friends, I know that this experiment, in my heart, I know that this experiment is going to be a big success. The world is going to emulate this. I am very certain about this, and the world is going to emulate this idea. And I expect and I invite all my friends from all over the world to be part of this tomorrow. Already people are doing global meditations. They are doing so many beautiful things at the subtle level, at the vibrational level. And I wish that all of you be part of this. Drop all your concerns, hesitations. If we can do something to help the poor, if we can do something for the betterment of the economy, let's do it. Let's not complain. Because when we complain, we again attract more of complaints. We attract more opportunities to complain, which means the situation keeps getting worse. So let's okay, Easter is next Sunday. Okay, so Samuel, Easter is next Sunday. So tomorrow is probably Palm Sunday, which is also an important event. So yeah, so I think that's what I had to share from multiple perspectives, how this really works. Apply it in your life on an individual scale. apply it for the country, see how it works. There's absolutely no harm in this, no side effects, and definitely it's going to work amazing for your health, for the happiness of everyone. And thank you everyone for joining, and tomorrow I hope to see this magic unfolding, and I wish everyone all the best. Have a wonderful night, have a wonderful wonderful evening ahead. Yeah, Sunita says 300 crores will be lost in this, and it could be used. Okay, so Sunita, we are you have the free option of using your mobile phone lamp. So where there's a will, there's a way, and that's what we need to believe, you know. And lighting candles is something beautiful. We spend 500 rupees, 1000 rupees on so many activities which are frivolous, and this is, yeah, you can use your laptop light, you can use your torch light, you can use anything. So where there's a will, there's a way, remember that. So all the best, my friends, and let's understand, and let's have a wonderful evening ahead. Let's set aside the argumentative mind for some time. Do something innocent, do something playful. That's going to really help you. As Sunita, I told you already that you can use torch light, and that's not going to have any carbon dioxide emissions. So let's leave the monkey mind aside and do something with innocence, do something with positivity. I wish everyone all the very best. Cheers.